What if you could make yourself invisible? Imagine waking up one morning to discover that you possess the extraordinary ability to become invisible at will, not through fancy gadgets or technological trickery, not hidden behind smoke and mirrors, but true, honest-to-goodness invisibility, where you can vanish from the sight of those around you, blending perfectly into your environment. At first, it might feel like stepping into the realm of science fiction, or that you suddenly belong in the pages of a magical novel. The possibilities could seem limitless, the temptations equally alluring and unsettling. But what would actually happen if you could make yourself invisible? What wonders could you experience? What perils might you encounter? And how would this ability change your daily life? And perhaps even the fabric of society itself? Let's begin with your initial reactions. The moment you realize you can vanish, your mind might whirl with ideas, equal parts mischief and curiosity. Maybe you would test the limits, watching your own hands dissolve into the air. You might stand in front of a mirror, unable to see your own reflection for the first time in your life. The sensation could be both exhilarating and unnerving. Would you feel a coldness, a tingle, or nothing at all when the transformation happens? Would you retain your clothing, or would your wardrobe tumble to the floor, separated from your now unseeable body? Perhaps only what you concentrate on becomes invisible. Your skin, your hair, even what you carry. You might quickly realize the need to adapt, wear special fabric or materials, carry only the essentials. The logistics alone would invite a host of questions. Assuming full-body invisibility, you decide to leave your room and step out into the world. As you walk the familiar streets of your town or city, you notice the new and unexpected. How freely you can move, how you could slip through crowds undetected, how you could cross barriers that once limited you. No eyes follow your path. No one second-guesses your intentions. You could bypass lines, sneak into movie theaters, skip past ticket counters. You could explore the city at night, discovering hidden corners and secret lives. With invisibility comes a remarkable freedom, but also a daunting responsibility. How would you handle the knowledge that you can go anywhere, undetected? The temptation to trespass on private property, to listen in on conversations not meant for your ears, or even to collect secrets from places and people otherwise unreachable, would be immense. Beyond this initial thrill, it becomes apparent that invisibility changes your relationship to the world around you. You are both present and absent. Everyone looks past you, unaware of your existence. You realize something crucial. Being invisible is, in many ways, being isolated. Sounds continue as normal, but none are directed at you. Laughter and joy fill the air, but you are no longer part of it. No one exchanges a smile, returns a greeting, or even acknowledges you. This newfound power, you quickly learn, is threaded with loneliness. You begin to understand why, in legends and stories, the invisible person so often yearns for connection. Consider for a moment how you might use this gift. The choices reveal as much about you as they do about the nature of invisibility itself. Some might seek justice, imagining themselves as makeshift heroes, intervening unseen in situations of danger, gathering evidence of wrongdoing, exposing lies and corruption. You could rescue a child from a burning building without anyone seeing who did it. You might witness a crime and collect irrefutable proof, handing it to the authorities anonymously. The allure of righteous action is strong. Others might be drawn to less noble paths. The temptation to eavesdrop would be irresistible. On boardroom negotiations, political discussions, even personal conversations, you could enter places forbidden to you, observe secrets meant for only a select few. Wealth or advantage could be yours. Pilfering valuables, hacking into computers, uncovering hidden information. The ethical lines would blur, and it might become difficult to remember where you once drew them. Then, there are the utterly practical applications. With invisibility, you could escape social situations you dread, avoid confrontations, even slip away from danger. You might shuttle safely through dangerous parts of the city, or retreat into seclusion when the stresses of life feel overwhelming. For the shy or socially awkward, invisibility offers a way out, a tool to dodge anxiety, to hide from the eyes that judge or the voices that criticize. But what about the drawbacks? As your adventures multiply, so do the complications. Being invisible does not make you immune to harm. In a crowd, people might accidentally collide with you, unable to see your presence. Navigating traffic becomes perilous. Drivers can't avoid what they cannot see. Doors closed quickly might catch your limb. Dogs might bark in confusion. Even security systems could react in unexpected ways. The issue of clothing resurfaces. Unless everything you wear or carry disappears along with you, it's easy to accidentally give yourself away. Imagine, too, the discomfort of weather. Without visible outerwear, cold rain or biting wind could become a constant companion. The sun could burn your skin, relentless and unobstructed by protective clothing. Soon, the problem of nourishment asserts itself. Pausing for a meal, you realize that anything you eat would become visible inside your stomach, at least temporarily. People might not see your face or hands, but they would witness food hovering mysteriously in the air, vanishing slowly as you digest. The image is unsettling, even comical, and makes eating in public a challenge, unless you devote yourself to stealth, secrecy, or complicated workarounds. On a deeper level, you may struggle with the psychological and emotional toll of invisibility. Social creatures instinctively seek acknowledgement and connection. Stripped of visual presence, you are forced to confront your identity. If no one can see you, do you still matter? How does being invisible affect your sense of self, your self-esteem, and your relationship to those you love? Friends and family can no longer make eye contact or react subconsciously to your presence. Hugs grow less satisfying, conversations lopsided with your cues unseen. You might begin to feel like a ghost haunting your own life, present but intangible, fading from the fabric that once grounded you. The ethical dilemmas multiply. If you overhear a secret, does that give you the right to act upon it? If you save a life, but cannot reveal yourself as the rescuer, how do you cope with the lack of recognition? If you use your gift to gain advantage, social, financial, or emotional, are you cheating or leveling an uneven playing field? Now, extend your experience beyond personal enrichment and consider the societal implications. History is filled with stories of people harnessing invisibility, sometimes metaphorically, using camouflage in war, sneaking through shadows, blending into crowds. But true invisibility, the ability to move unseen, would revolutionize the world. For law enforcement, catching a true invisible person would be nearly impossible. Crimes could be committed with near impunity, surveillance evaded, secrets uncovered. The security industry would be forced to reimagine itself, from cameras and alarms to motion sensors, heat tracking, and ultrasonic detection. Governments might panic, fearing unseen intrusions into their most guarded spaces. Diplomats, corporate leaders, and even ordinary citizens would worry about privacy as never before. Spycraft and espionage would leap forward, or collapse entirely. Embedded invisible assets could listen in on summits, steal blueprints, or monitor nuclear sites. The mere possibility of an invisible adversary would trigger paranoia. Countermeasures would be hurriedly developed. Pressure mats, body heat scanners, laser grids to detect even slight disturbances. The world would adapt, but slowly, and not without fear and upheaval. In warfare, invisibility would become the ultimate weapon. Armies would pour resources into creating technology that mimics this ability. Stealth suits, cloaking devices, chameleon-like armor. Assassins, saboteurs, and scouts would slip unseen behind enemy lines, changing the balance of power. Wars might be won or lost, not by force, but by the actions of a single unseen individual. But what if invisibility spread to the masses? Suppose it became a common trait, available for purchase or inherited biologically. Society would have to change fundamentally. Public spaces would be redesigned. Floors would creak and groan to reveal invisible footsteps. Doors would become heavier. Air would be scented to detect unseen presences. Personal privacy would erode, as people feared being observed or followed without their knowledge. Sales of anti-invisibility aids, sprays, sensors, perhaps even animals trained to sense hidden humans, would skyrocket. Philosophically, the very concept of selfhood would adapt. Invisibility would raise questions about the soul, consciousness, and identity. If you are no longer seen, who are you? If everyone can become invisible, what happens to trust, to honesty, to the subtle social cues that guide everyday interactions? Relationships would change dramatically. Jealous lovers might spy on their partners. Families would struggle to cope with unseen presences moving through the home, and the idea of privacy, a cornerstone of modern life, would erode. Children might use the gift to play elaborate games, hiding from their parents or surprising their friends. But discipline would become a challenge. Teachers would worry about invisible disruptions. Schools would implement new rules and technologies. Sports would be revolutionized. Imagine an invisible soccer player darting unseen to score impossible goals. Competitions would either ban or embrace the invisible, and new specialized leagues would arise. Artists and performers might embrace invisibility as a tool for storytelling. Imagine a play where performers vanish and reappear at crucial moments, or a painting utterly transformed by viewing from an invisible angle. Music and sound would take on new tasks, creating atmosphere for those who cannot be seen. Religion and spirituality would seek to interpret this phenomenon. Some might see it as a divine blessing, others as a curse or a test. Myths would flourish, old folklore revived, new parables written to explain and explore the meaning of such an ability. Prophets and cults would emerge, declaring invisibility a sign of destiny or warning. Of course, science would be eager to understand this power. Biologists might wonder if certain animals, like octopuses or chameleons, hold the secret. Physicists might study the manipulation of light, the bending of waves, or the refraction that could make something truly disappear. Engineers and inventors would work tirelessly to replicate the effect for military, industrial, and everyday uses. Medical experts would investigate side effects. Does invisibility affect the body, the mind? Can it be reversed or become permanent against one's will? Returning to your personal journey, you grapple with the growing isolation. Eventually, you might choose to reveal your secret to the world or to a trusted few. Sharing this gift would take courage. Reactions could be dramatic, ranging from awe to fear. Some might see you as a miracle, others as a threat. Fame could come swiftly, but so could the loss of control over your own life. Governments might approach you, offering money or making demands. Scientists would want to study you, the media to interview you, religious figures to bless or condemn your powers. You might retreat into solitude, cherishing anonymity and peace, or else step forward as a force for good. A vigilante or hero. Invisibility, you come to realize, is a tool, a lens that reveals as much about society, power, and morality as it does about yourself. In time, you might use your power to teach others, to explore mysteries unsolvable by visible means. Archaeology, for instance, could benefit from invisible explorers passing carefully through ancient sites, disturbing little. Medical science, too, could be revolutionized by surgeons who can see past their own hands while operating. As you adjust to the challenges and privileges of invisibility, the lessons become clear. Power without accountability is a dangerous thing. The lines between freedom and loneliness, justice and intrusion, become blurred. Yet, with compassion and wisdom, you could use this gift to help others, to illuminate the unseen, and to remind society of the value of both presence and absence. Ultimately, the experience of being invisible would highlight not just what you see, but what others see in you. Presence is more than visibility, and connection more than being looked at. Even in the shadows, the desire to be understood and to feel a part of something endures. As the days pass and your initial excitement mellows, you find yourself longing for balance. Invisibility is fascinating, powerful, and sometimes daunting. But so is being seen. Imperfect, vulnerable, truly known. In the end, perhaps the true magic lies not just in vanishing, but in returning. Not just in escaping the gaze of others, but in embracing it, knowing that you have touched the world in ways both seen and unseen. So, what if you could make yourself invisible? You would discover a world without boundaries, but also without the anchor of recognition. You might become a force for change, or a shadow watching from the wings. You would face choices that test your character, your ethics, and your humanity. And, above all, you would come to appreciate the profound, everyday magic of being seen. Not just with the eyes, but with the heart. Thanks for sticking with us until the end of the video. What do you think would really happen if this became reality? How would the world change? Share your thoughts or your own what-if theories in the comments below. Who knows? Your idea might inspire our next video. If you found this interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep exploring the wildest possibilities with us. See you in the next unexpected what-if adventure.